We continue to watch Ian at this hour, which is now strengthened back into a hurricane and is approaching the South Carolina coastline. Gloria Pesmino reports from Fort Myers, Florida, where there is mass destruction.
There's really no words that I can say to tell you what I've seen. The Fort Myers beach area, buildings, major homes and buildings completely washed away with vehicles in the water, vehicles in the bay. Boats are upside down.
Tied as the fourth most powerful hurricane to hit the Sunshine State, Ian blasted ashore Wednesday, just shy of a Category 5 storm.
The amount of water that's been rising and will likely continue to rise today, even as the storm is passing, is basically a 500-year flood event.
Residents now getting their first glimpse at the scope of the damage.
Very flooded, it's ruined, completely ruined. The fridge is on the floor, the couches are turned upside down, the toilets are on the floor.
Many residents still trapped in their homes.
You kind of find yourself in a position where you're totally powerless.
With dozens of houses still underwater, search and rescues are now underway.
We currently have aircraft in the air with the Florida National Guard actively pulling people off of roofs in Fort Myers.
And as Ian continues its destructive march across Florida, parts of the East Coast are getting pummeled.
This is my community. This is my home. It's not only for my pain, it's for everybody's pain. I'm terrified for everybody. It's not only all our trailers, it's half of Cape Coral, it's half of everywhere.
In Fort Myers, I'm Gloria Pesmino reporting.
Yeah, Mariel, such a hard and heartbreaking reality for those folks who are in the storm's path. You said about 30 minutes ago, Ian strengthened back into a hurricane, and that was because it was over water. Is that right? And the warmth of the water is what helps it to strengthen back into a hurricane?
Absolutely. Okay. It needs warm water to fuel itself, to sustain itself, and it's back over that. At least the center of circulation is. Some of the outer bands that were still impacting portions of Northeast Florida, even though the middle of Ian is about 120 miles away from Jacksonville. Jacksonville, Florida is still getting just hit with heavy rainfall. Now that is going to slightly lessen here in the next couple of hours, but because of its path, it'll likely still get hit by some of the outer bands. So right now, Ian is a hurricane again with max sustained winds of 75 miles per hour, wind gusts of 90 miles per hour. Those can be found in the eye wall, which is just outside of the eye, the center of circulation there. It's still 240 miles south of Charleston, where it is expected to make landfall or very close to it. There's still a little wiggle room in that path. So this is how it's progressed here. It's still moving to the north and east, and you can see some of those outer bands still impacting portions of I-95 between Jacksonville and Daytona Beach. We'll notice that this eventually does take a turn, though. So watch this. This is still after midnight tonight, 80-mile-per-hour wind speeds. It strengthens because it's over open water. We are going to see this take a shift back towards the coastline close to Charleston, making landfall sometime around midday Friday as a Category 1 storm. It continues to progress into the Carolinas, likely bringing in anywhere between 3 to 5 inches of rain. Storm surge along South Carolina, though, 5 to 7 feet, not completely ruled out at this point. That's why those tropical storm and hurricane warnings are in place. We'll talk a little bit more here about conditions closer to home coming up in just a bit, Sonia.
All right, Mariel, thank you. You can stay on top of the storm's path on WFAA.com and on our WFAA Plus app, as well as on Roku and Amazon Fire.